it starts, folks. Did you hear that? People her age. Raise their hand with the ARP. Okay. Okay, that's very important. It's not that you don't want to be brand not, but if you could go out there and put all your efforts into branding and become brand not. Saves time, it cuts through the clutter. It gets you to, those of you who are thinking about starting your own business, it gets you to get better return on your money because you're saving time and effort and you're getting consistency out of who you're supposed to be talking to. In your mind, who's brand not? Maybe it's a company that you knew was a brand and then they kind of like fell off the market. And since we were talking about coffees, let me say chock full of nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Chock full of nuts used to have just like
weed.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, these have all these chains. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now you're going to hear it. So who in your mind, just as an exercise, is brand not that you used to be out there and all of a sudden they kind of disappeared? Everything that Apple does, they're leading the trend. Starting with their computers, making the thinnest computers, making the iPods, making the iPhone. That's a brand that's like dragging the industry. You know, after all, IBM made the personal computer more business friendly, and Apple, they would say they made the computer more individual friendly. So, when I mentioned Apple before, an old company can appear to be brand new when they roll out products and services that are new or improved, or they keep launching stuff. Car manufacturers really cornered this idea. They roll out new stuff all the time, and they keep reintroducing you to how wonderful and creative and thoughtful they are to your lifestyle. Emotionally pull you in, whether somebody's speeding or driving or sultry getting out of the car, or it's like ice cream to you, especially late at night. You see these car ads late at night. I mean, you could have just brought a car and still could be seduced by a Mercedes or a Volvo, depending on how the ads are.
Now, do you think the car ad is as seductive for women? Because I just want a car that won't break down. When I turn my car on,
It returns to favor.
It returns to favor.
Right. I think that is excellent.
That's
I mean, the first time I heard that line, I was blown away. I was stunned. That they could do that.
Yeah.
When I turned my car on, I wanted to return
to
favor.
favor. Right.
You know, or she drives up to the big boys. You know, she leaves them in dust.
Right.
You know, that's a way of changing the positioning. Okay. So what we have here is loyalties. Folks. We have loyalties, and they go deep. And they go deep from subliminal reasons. Taste, environment, passion. For example, Starbucks. You see Starbucks logo is that round thing, and Target, the round. Well, those logos, and some of them are created round, and even one of my clients, BCT Partners, created a round logo because it emulates, it states, it says globalism. It gives the impression that you are global. So that's the background to that is one of the studies. So it's not just the color, it's the shape, and it's the purpose behind that to more or less influence you subliminally. Now, one of my clients was a radio company, and they wanted to create that kind of strong brand environment. Since they were on the radio, of course, the first thing they wanted was a strong visual identifier that can run on their trucks and run on their banners and run on their signs. I created for the Javon logo, and it was this logo that had a lot of sexy presence because they demanded that, okay, well, I want people driving their truck to see that logo and know it stands for this radio station. And it was daring. Okay, you saw the ad she came back with? Since you guys are playing me up, judging me up like I could be president, I really like the way she came off.
Oh yeah, she did a good job.
She did a good job. And give her, they had to give her the energy initiative.
Oh yeah. And she said she posted with Mrs. Paris Hilton. I heard this message.
Now, that's an example of strong branding. That's great. Now, yeah, putting her image out there and not being afraid and actually, you know, but she's working on an equity. If I say to you, for instance, America runs on, what would you say?
Fair.
There you go. Some people get that. Now, it depends on how much you hear it. A slogan, right? A slogan is what you think of. So that's a tool of branding, a slogan, not just an image. That's why branding works well on the radio as well as on television, because you start to remember. Companies that we know are brand known, companies that we really depend on.
And it's hard, right?
Okay, well, speaking of Tarjay, if Dunkin' Donuts was here, they would agree with that.
No, they probably wouldn't.
But this is what they do. This is what advertising agencies do. Just what I asked you. They do studies the way they ask people these same questions, and that's how they come up with that. I'm going to use an example like Disney. I mean, Disney appeals to a broad market. They appeal to the very old and the very young for a fun time. I mean, they built hotels, and they're going to be sponsoring trips into outer space. You know, I've looked at a Nike brand brochure. The brochure that they give service people to follow the Nike brand, how it's placed, what colors can be used for Nike in terms of its collateral, and the fact that what he said about, who said that about swoosh? Okay, what he said about the swoosh, they don't want you to call it a swish because that's somebody else's.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So that is very, very important as to what it is and how it can be used. There's a way to take a brand that seems very quiet and all of a sudden reintroduce it, like we mentioned with Converse, or what Apple does. They kind of, even if you create your own brand and it gets quiet, you think of something clever, and you have people who study this, like Paris Hilton's folks, and they study this as what's going to work. That was a big opportunity for Paris. Look on the shelves. Who else would it be competing with in the same category, same subject? And a speaker, a writer, a branding coach. So what are the plans and what are the consistencies in doing that? So what I did was come up with a look and feel for the book, but all the collateral around it has the same look and feel. So you're going to put me to work. Somebody who came prepared for me to do homework. That's great. Okay. Saying this already is being consistent, making sure that your logo, your slogan, your colors, everything looks. Yes, Lightning Source is the company I use. Lightning Source. They actually build a book for you, and kind of give you the formatting.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, good. You know, I really appreciate you coming up with individuals, personalities of our brand, because we don't think of how much, and those personalities stand for a lot of other products. Yep.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods.
What was the?
Actually, Hooters, which I have a friend that works at corporate headquarters. And the thing that was interesting about them is that there was a small airline that was kind of, fluttering. So they went to Hooters, and Hooters, they asked if they use the Hooters brand. And so they paid Hooters, and the Hooters airline is not owned by Hooters. They just sold their name. So they're getting paid for that logo just to be on that air. It was very smart on Hooters' part. You associate it with Hooters, but they're making money just for them using their name.
That's leveraging. Mm-hmm. That's what they call in the brand leveraging.
Acho que não vou deixar você sair da